Lanes, New York.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Chilio here, and my friends at Carnes Motor Company started with a dream over a quarter century ago. I met Rob and Brian back when I still had hair, and they were working at a huge dealership in West Knoxville. But they told me back then they wanted to sell cars on their terms, and I wanted to do radio on my terms. Their terms, just like my terms, are ultimately your terms. In both cases, you're the winner. A Car Guru's National Award winner with a 5-star rating on all sites, just like our Vols. Everything about buying a car from Carnes Motor Company is no hassle. They specialize in high-quality pre-owned vehicles between the $5,000 to $25,000 range. And if you need to sell a car, they'll either buy your car or they'll help you sell it. Carnes Motor Company also has a top-notch service department. Therefore, every vehicle is rigorously inspected and serviced prior to delivery. So you're guaranteed to get a quality pre-owned vehicle every time. If you need a place for service, they've got you covered. Come be a part of the Carnes Motor Company family and tell them you heard about it from me. Online at carnesmotor.com, Oak Ridge Highway, 1 mile past the Carnes light. Carnes Motor Company.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Like our 2026 football Vols, score a T3 TD every time with T3 Vodka, Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. Right here, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains. Quality around here isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. And T3's filtered 10 times, 80 proof of vodka, delivering a smoothness unmatched. This dedication to excellence has earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades, like a 5-time gold medal award-winning vodka and your SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner as well. Whether you're sipping it neat, on the rocks, mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Be like Maury Hanks. Score a T3 TD. Ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, and score a T3 TD all 2026 long. Tennessee's Premium Vodka, T3, Tennessee's Premium Vodka, distributed by Empire Distributors of Tennessee. Basilio here with the great Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, I can hear it in the background, brother. It's World Cup season, and you guys are in the middle of it. Talk to me.
We are excited. Our U9 through U12 trials just kicked off today for our locations in
Chad Stockton, hang on to that thought, Chad Stockton of FC Alliance, because a high noon hotline overtime is coming your way. Make no mistake about it. And on Fan Run Radio, ladies and gentlemen, the wit, wisdom, and pageantry of the great William Pattison with the Playbook on the way next. See you tomorrow at Calhoun's.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
And now back.
And here we go. Live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios, it's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio. With Brett Hellander and Camden Coltrane, I'm William Pattison. We appreciate you listening along with us on this fine Thursday from Knoxville, Tennessee. And we've got plenty to cover over the next 2 hours, including Faizon Brandon and multiple other Tennessee freshmen have been added to EA Sports College Football 27. The popular video game released its new title update today, 1,900 new players, and a lot of that is the freshmen that were not added at the beginning of the game, but Faizon is now in the game. So we'll talk about that and what that rating is, and there's also a little bit of controversy here, also stemming just down the road in Nashville, Tennessee, where a certain quarterback decision was made, but one guy is higher than the other between Jared Curtis and Faizon Brandon, and you might be able to infer why we're going to talk about it and whose rating is higher just based on that conversation, but plenty to talk about there, and also a couple of those freshmen that we might not have covered a ton this offseason you could see onto the field this year for Tennessee during the 2026 season. Also a little bit later on, Deshaun Bishop named a top 100 player in college football, the Carnes High School product, Knoxville, Tennessee native, even though he was not listed on the Doak Walker watch list.
He has good odds, though.
He does have good odds. He was appropriately listed on ESPN's top 100 players. We'll talk about what this season shapes up to look like for Bishop, and then we'll continue my best bets look ahead. Got things going last night with Haji, the Sheik out in the desert. We did the cover boys. You'll hear that on the Fan Run Podcast Network here soon. But a lot of games, some of which people will have opinions on in terms of how important they are. I value a lot of them. Most certainly Memphis and UNLV. That's a game I will be appointment television for. But we've got some leans, some signals I'll tell you about, but also don't want to show too much of my hand for the cover boys. But in hour number 2, we'll talk about the players that are now being banned everywhere. Not just the SEC, not just the Big Ten, not just the ACC. Now the NFL is cracking down and saying, hey, if you enter the portal and try to go back to college, you will not be playing in the NFL. So I'm very interested to see what Daquan Wright's future looks like in terms of a professional career. And we'll also talk some college football playoff sleeper teams. The Athletic released a list of about 10 groups they think could maybe sneak their way into the field. We'll react to that and ask if Tennessee could be one of those sleepers that you should keep an eye on this upcoming season. But plenty to cover on a Thursday. We're so happy you're here. If you're on that YouTube live stream, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss any Fan Run content. And before we get into the rest of the show, let's welcome in the rest of the crew, beginning with Brett. Brett, how are you on this Thursday?
Doing well. Been scrambling, got to go to. I'm actually going to go down to where DGG plays tonight for soccer. We got a game at Baylor tonight, so maybe I'll run into him or Marshall or somebody down there and see the campus. I've never been down there and stuff, so I'm excited to get down there and see what that's looks like and things like that. But yeah, I guess we got some sort of football night. FCS is tonight, right?
That is true.
I know our guy, I'm sure Garrett's
probably fired up,
locked in. I guess our first opponent plays tonight. I mean, people might be, for what it's worth, see what Furman has to offer, if anything. But, some people are. That's their, football's football to a lot of people. FCS might be a different level, but yeah, so I guess it's kind of the unofficial start to football tonight.
That is true. We'll get to see Jake Garcia, the Miami, Missouri, East Carolina, Michigan transfer, suiting up for the Paladins as he enters his 6th season of college football. A fascinating story is Garcia. I touched on it last week, and I'll probably share it once again in the lead up to the action as we talk about that. But the FCS, not necessarily I'm not going to say it's not my cup of tea, because there are some great FCS players that make their way to the Division I FBS level. But my action will promptly begin at 12 p.m. on Saturday when North Carolina and TCU go to battle. And that's a game with a ton of storylines, too. Yeah. I think Bill Belichick's son did not travel.
I thought he did.
Oh, did he? Did I miss that? Did I misread that?
Yeah, I think.
I must have only seen the first part. Okay.
Yeah, I think he said he would be in Does that change anything for you or no?
Hell no. Hell no. It doesn't change a damn thing.
Two Belichick's on the sideline?
We saw that last
good.
year, and it didn't do a damn thing. I will give them credit, though. They had the best first drive I may have ever seen in my life. That first one last year with Gio Lopez leading the charge. I mean, hell, you had Michael Jordan. Yeah, it was like a celebrity row.
Yeah. It wasn't the extent of Dion's first game in Colorado, I don't think, with the celebrity status. But when you get Jordan in the stadium, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, anytime you get the second best player in your venue, that's a pretty good title to have.
That's true.
Camden, well, I got your name now, and I've got your last name too. Camden Coltrane on the show as well. Camden, how are you on this Thursday?
Feeling great. So excited that we are, now 2 days away officially from the longest college football season in history.
That's right.
That is right.
That's right.
Somewhere over 140 days.
149.
Good Lord.
Crazy.
Good Lord. What do you mean, Brett?
It's a lot of football, man.
It's a lot of football, but why would you be upset about it?
Yeah. 948 games, 149 days, spanning from August 29th to January 25th, 2027, when the season will conclude inside Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas.
Might as well play year-round.
Well, I mean, it's damn near a year-round sport. They play the games on the field during the fall, and they play the games in the courtroom during the winter and the spring.
It feels like we did not stop talking about it at all. I mean,
I'm all for it,
rarely
man.
did we.
I need another.
We need football though, with all this crap going on. Too.
Yeah, I need another gambling violation next year. I need some drama.
No, we don't.
But yes, Camden, you're right. College football on the way. Anything else? I didn't want to cut you off there.
No.
Okay.
We're good.
Good deal. Well, let's get into it. Our first things first topic today is going to be Faizon Brandon and company. They're in the game. It's in the moniker. EA Sports, it's in the game. Now they're in the game. A little bit after release. I don't know why they do this. Maybe it's just because of the NIL and all of that. Like, they're not technically in school or enrolled until about this time. But regardless, EA Sports College Football 27 has been out for a bit now, but a crop of freshmen were not included on that release. And with a significant update this week, that has changed. And this means that Tennessee football starting quarterback Faizon Brandon, wide receiver TK Keys, and more have been added to the game, and their initial ratings can also be seen as well. And it's not the entire batch. There's still some guys we're missing, but some notable freshmen that were not included: Braden Rouse, wide receiver Tyreek King, defensive back Joel Wyatt, and tight end Luka Wolf. Heard a lot of good things about Luka Wolf through training camp and more. But Faizon's in the game, TK Keys is in the game, and we'll touch on a couple of other freshmen as well. And I do want to preface, I'm looking in the YouTube chat, Blake the Riot talking about, Jalen Washington and all that. We'll get to that shortly. I do have a little bit of clearance on that. I think yesterday I might have gotten ahead of myself on some of
I think a lot of us did.
And again, I think on a lot of this, we're trying to figure out as well. I'm not a judge. I'm not a lawyer. I know ball. I know college football, know college basketball, but I don't know everything about some of these terms. But we'll get to that, I promise. But I did want to start with this today because it's a little bit more fresh. Faizon Brandon, tabbed as an 80 overall in the game. He's got an 88 speed, 69 on the strength. Maybe could bump that up a little bit. He's a guy that looks a little bit older than his age.
I never understood how they determine those things.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess they have a arm wrestling war or something inside the ratings room. 87 on the agility, 85 change of direction. He's also got a 96 throw power, 72 awareness.
But they said he wasn't strong.
Well, I don't know. He's got a strong arm, but he's, I guess, not strong below the waist or something. I don't know. 92 injury. So I guess he's durable. But again, a lot of these ratings are subjective, and I honestly think it's just the intern typing away. But the interesting part in all of this is that Jared Curtis, Vanderbilt's quarterback, former 5-star recruit, along with Faizon Brandon. Curtis was just one spot ahead of Brandon in those 24/7 sports recruiting rankings. Curtis was not named the starter, though. He's going to back up Blaise Berlowitz to begin the season, and it's likely we will see Curtis play this year and potentially start. I'm not ruling that out. But at least to begin the year, one guy is starting and the other guy is not. One guy is higher rated than the other, and that would be Jared Curtis, the backup quarterback, who's an 81. Faizon Brandon is an 80, and he's a starter. So
Burlowitz is 71, by the way.
Which is, I don't know how that works. So obviously these are just ratings, and it's another way for Tennessee fans to get all riled up. But I think it shows a little bit of a greater picture that I think sometimes we overvalue recruiting rankings based on what we've seen so far through camp and in person. Now, EA Sports has not been inside Tennessee fall camp. I don't think they've been inside Vanderbilt fall camp. And there were positive things said about Curtis through that process, but Blaise Burlowitz, for the most part, was considered the quarterback one for some time, unless you ask the Vandy insiders and you question their credibility. But Faizon Brandon, once he arrived to campus at Tennessee, he immediately stuck out. He was 17 years old, and for a guy of that age, coming out of high school, they're usually not as filled out as Faizon was. And just that part, that physicality, that build was really impressive. He's that new shiny toy, right? Then they go through spring camp. George McIntyre, a redshirt freshman entering his second season with the Volunteers, has a bit of a firmer grasp, at least in person, of the playbook and the scheme. But it is important to note Faizon Brandon did have the playbook throughout his senior year of high school, so he could start prepping for this upcoming season. But as soon as these guys got into a camp environment, a competition environment, Faizon Brandon continued to wow. I mean, I remember back in March, a guy came up to me on the team, said, Faizon Brandon's really impressive. And he's stuck out. Not that George McIntyre was bad, but I think it's like, whoa, this kid is a 5-star, and it's not just a title. He looks the part. So we go through the summer, and Faizon Brandon has not left campus since spring break. This is a 17, now 18-year-old kid that is dedicated to perfecting his craft. He wants to learn the offense. He wants to learn what it's like to be a college athlete, which I think is also very important. He could have gone and hung out with his boys in North Carolina. Maybe could have taken that NIL check and gone to Cabo or, wherever. That would have been a temptation for me, at least. Maybe I just need a vacation. But this is a guy that is dedicated and has continued to prove that to everyone in the building. You would have thought he's a 3-star the type of time he's put in. And that time and effort has now translated to fall camp, where Brandon was named the starter on Monday for a reason, because of his performances in the scrimmage on last Saturday and the one prior. The ability to raise the ceiling and play off script is why Brandon's going to be this quarterback. Obviously, there's zip on the football when it comes out of his arm. Obviously, he looks the part despite being 18. But George McIntyre was no scrub in this. It's not like he was a bad quarterback throughout this process. It was a tight race. Ultimately, Brandon, who was considered the slight favorite for most of the time, does win the job, but he had to earn that. And I think when we look across the country, a lot of people tab Faizon Brandon as a very impactful player this season because of that high school ranking. But what we've seen here in Knoxville, I think, takes away anything we thought of him before coming in. Because now you're in college. Everyone on these rosters were the man in high school, were the best player on their team. That's how it works. Now you're just another guy here. And I'm not saying Jared Curtis isn't a good player.
Yeah.
But he threw for 9,500 yards against the Ole Miss Five-Game Pledge class of 2026. Is a different level of competition than you're going to be facing in the SEC. So if we're evaluating right now what a guy has done since he's got on campus versus a guy that is highly rated out of high school that just got beat out at his job, I don't know how Faizon Brandon is not above Jared Curtis. And all these Vanderbilt fans are saying, oh, William, remember, he was one spot above him in the recruiting rankings. there have been a lot of 5-star players that we don't ever hear from again because they don't pan out. We were talking about it yesterday, Brett. I mean, Khalil McKenzie.
Yeah.
That's not a name that you remember. The only reason why you remember him is because he was a 5-star player that never panned out. So just because you're a 5-star doesn't mean you're better than someone that is well down the list. Malachi Toney was one of the best wide receivers in college football last year. He was a 3-star, sub-1,000 recruit. You know, it doesn't really matter. It matters what you do when you get on campus, and Faizon Brandon has proved that. And I don't know how you can have a backup over a starter when they're in the same position in terms of the rankings or ratings. And also, Blaise Berlowitz, I mean, he needs to let EA know, hey, I'm the starter, by the way, and I'm not 9 overall points worse than the guy I beat out. Brett, obviously, this is a non-story in terms of Curtis being above Brandon, but I'm trying to spin it to the way he is viewed as compared to Curtis. Should people value a guy that went through spring camp, went through fall camp as more highly regarded than one that did the same thing and didn't even win the job?
I can see it both ways. You can take it a step further. There's a guy at Houston that's even rated higher than Faizon Keyshawn Henderson, I believe is his name as well. So, I mean, these are weird. You wonder how a guy that hasn't played a single snap can be on a video game and different reasons like that. But it's an interesting one, certainly, to have Curtis rated higher him. Even a guy on his own team's rated the same, McIntyre, who lost the job as well, to your point. You know, another guy to backup, they're both rated 80, and we think the skill set is far superior with Faizon than it is a George. I don't know what his attributes were or whatever you want to say on the game, but like it's just it's interesting. It's really almost a nothing burger, but these guys are 2 really good quarterbacks. They should be rated around the same. I mean, Jared Curtis, you said, I mean, as good talented as he is, it makes sense that Vandy went with a more experienced guy and he performed better as well. And Clark Lee's not an idiot. I think he's a really good football coach, and I think he's earned the respect of these writers at Vandy and across the nation that has an issue with him going with Blaise Berlowitz. There's nothing wrong with that. And Curtis is, we all think is going to be a really good football player. This could help him in the long run and things like that. So we'd probably be saying the same thing if Brandon had a more experienced guy in front of him, whether it's Aguilar, if we went to the portal. So, but Faizon's, like you said, in a different situation, and this is where we are. And, I think Faizon is hopefully going to prove to be the better of the 2 quarterbacks in the long run. And that's ultimately what matters. It doesn't matter what your rating is on a video game.
Camden, what about you? What do you make of the ratings for Curtis and Brandon? Do you have a gripe with it?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a video game. I might be purchasing it soon just to play it. But, I mean, if anything, Faizon should just use it as motivation. Hey, I've put in the work. He knows that, and that work has paid off. And I'm so feel disrespected by these developers who may not know as much about. They know probably more about the code of video games than they do about football.
Sure.
Yeah. So it's just, I think he's just using it as motivation. I think he's obviously he's talented. I'm excited to see the way that this season plays out with how the opportunities that Curtis gets. But yeah.
Well, Blake the Riot is like many people in the YouTube chat. He says, I do this every season, but with Faizon now being named quarterback 1, I'm getting dangerously bullish on the Vols this year. And I feel like everyone's starting to kind of get the same type of idea. We're right next to the season. It's easy to get excited, but it's also really exciting when you have a player like Faizon Brandon going to start day 1. First true freshman Tennessee quarterback to start a season opener since 2004. I was 2 years old at the time. So it's been a long time coming, and for Tennessee fans, it's something we haven't really seen. And many people that are listening, it's a long time ago the last time you saw something like this go down, right? So again, I think what he has done since he arrived on campus is so impressive. despite being a 5-star and everything that comes with that, he worked his tail off. He continued to prepare and train like he was a third-string guy. He's had to earn his spot and earn his role, and that's something all the guys this week have talked about in terms of his leadership. Outside of the sting they might have on their hands when they deflect a pass or catch one from him, because he does put some heat on it, a little Brett Favre-esque. He's a good team leader, and he's kind of gathered around everyone and earned the trust and respect. And I think that's so important heading into a new season. But it's not just Faizon Brandon that was added. There's another shiny new toy, and that's TK Keys. 84 overall, higher than Brandon. And he's got a 91 speed, 68 strength. Maybe they need to get a heads up on the Derek Owings. Yeah. Maybe the Derek Owings effect needs to be an update in this one. But 94 agility, 93 change of direction. And
does it have like his catch on there? Sometimes they put receivers in catch. I know they used to.
They do.
I don't play video games anymore.
I probably should have found some better.
No, it's all right. I'm sure I could find it if I really wanted to.
But regardless, I mean, TK Keys, for a true freshman, 84 overall is very impressive. And I know there was that video that came out during spring camp that a lot of people online decided to decipher and try to figure out if he was going to be a bust or not. But watching him in fall camp, he looks the part. And he's had a number of great catches and a number of really inspiring moments. And the other thing too, folks, this is a deep wide receiver room. So TK Keys might not start the season, but that's not because he's not a good player. Travis Smith Jr. has taken a big step heading into year 2. Joakim Dotson and Radar Jackson have as well.
Yeah, there was a video going around Dotson, I think yesterday. I saw down the sideline.
Yeah.
Great catch.
Yeah.
And saw what he can do in the return game.
Joakim, I mean, he's always been a speedster. He was at Baylor. He played in a similar type of matchup as DGG did last week.
Yeah.
National television, week before the college football season. And he raced 22 miles an hour down the field. Flying.
Yeah.
And he's a former MUSL, so you add that into the mix too. But for TK Keys, I'm really not surprised he's this highly rated, because you look at the build, you look at what he has done so far in fall camp, and it adds up. This is a player that could have an immediate impact this season, and despite having 6 wide receivers you could go to, I think Keys is going to be a player that racks up a couple of catches this year and is going to make a couple of really impressive plays. And I like that freshman connection is already going to be in place, where Brandon and Keys can figure out this early consistency, because that's a duo that I think we'll be talking about for the next 2 or 3 years here in Knoxville. But for TK Keys, Brett, are you surprised he's rated so high? I mean, Brandon was higher regarded coming out of high school. He was the number 3 overall player. TK Keys not far down the list, but 84, that's pretty strong praise for a youngster.
Yeah, I think he was actually tied, for the joint highest I saw with Chris Henry Jr. at Ohio State, who's going to be good. And I think the other one was LSU had a defensive lineman, Lamar Brown, as the 3 highest true freshmen on the game. So, you take it a step further, and you tell how highly they think of these guys. And TK Keys, he's going to be, I think he's got star written all over him. I mean, we see that he's got the size, he's got the build, and everything like that, speed. I mean, you go down the list. I mean, and EA Sports got, they might have missed Brandon a little bit, but I think they nailed TK Keys. I think he was highly recruited by all the schools. Came down to, your LSUs, your A&Ms. I mean, they know what this guy's about. He was a 99 in high school, so you decipher that, and things like that. So. Really excited about TK Keys. I think, he'll have a strong freshman year, and I think he'll just build on that. You just think about, we talk about 27 and 28, possibly Faizon, but you got guys like TK Keys in that locker room too. That's going to be right there along with him. Hopefully, they form this duo that maybe we haven't seen come through campus in a long time. I can't think of just a, Hooker and Hyatt, I guess, things like that. But, for me, it goes back to like Manning and Kent, like you had that duo that was together for multiple years, and they just, were so electric and so good and really took Tennessee to another level. And I feel like if Tennessee's going to get back to the levels that I expect, a lot of people expect, playoffs, competing for championships, these guys have got to lead the way. And I fully expect this guy to have a huge year. And, if Staley and Matthews aren't here, I think he's going to, no pun intended, take the keys,
There you go.
So I'm excited about this guy. I'm just ready for him to get on the field because you just see all these clips and you just want to see it for yourself with your own two eyes in real live action.
Yeah, most definitely. Someone in the comments section calling me out. He said Dotson was at Collierville. Well, he was at Collierville, but he was also
he transfer
a Memphis University school transfer.
Was that after?
So he was at MUS 7th, 8th, 9th grade.
Oh, okay.
And then went to Collierville.
So that MUS is like all through, what is it, middle school, high school type
MUS
thing?
is 7 through 12.
7 through 12. Okay.
So he was MUS 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
And then went to Collierville for 2 years and then finished his career at Baylor.
Okay.
And that's what these high school kids do now. They transfer like the big dogs up
there's
top.
a new one every day.
Yeah. So when I say an MUS guy, he was an MUS guy. And it's really cool going back and looking at, because I was like the interview guy in high school there. Or that was kind of my nickname. And back in like 2021, there's a DM that he had sent me, now that you're graduating, who's going to interview me? And we had a kind of full circle moment last week when he was in the media availability and he was one of the wide receivers. So it was cool. But Joe Kim's always been a speedster, really incredible athlete. He was a good basketball player too. And I like dual sport guys because you get to balance the hectic, chaotic life that it's probably going to look like in college football, where you got to be at the gym, you got to be here, you got to be there, you got to do all this. I like the dual sport guys in high school because that means, when they're getting ready for the state championship game or state playoffs, they're also, in the film room with the basketball guys prepping for the next game or the season. So a lot of good stuff there. But Posty says Memphis is also the Wild West for high school sports. Yes, it is. MUS had a number of guys transfer out this past year. Crazy stuff. But one more guy I want to hit on real quick before we hit the break is Breeze Carter. Now, that was Jordan Carter coming out of the high school class, kind of like TK's. He rebranded the name. Breeze Carter on the defensive end is an intriguing option for Tennessee, and he's going to likely have his opportunities with Chaz Coleman obviously departing this offseason. He was tabbed as a 76 overall in EA Sports College Football 27, and I know we have concerns about the defensive line, probably my biggest concern for this team overall, but you're going to need guys like Breeze Carter to step up. And if he ends up being one of those players that can give you an immediate impact as a freshman, that's a huge plus because now all the Jackson Moy talk, all that's out the window. The defensive line is what it is. And Jordan Norman, the transfer from Tulane, he had 6 sacks last year for the Green Wave in their pursuit to the college football playoff. That's a plus, but you need some depth. Guys like Breeze Carter are going to have to step up into that role. And I think it's a name to know heading into the season. Even though we might not hear it a ton to begin the year, down the road as they continue to get stronger and more comfortable in college football, Breeze Carter could be a name to remember. So the freshmen have been added to the game. A little bit of controversy at that quarterback position, especially with the guy down the road in Nashville. But TK Keys was properly rated, given some swag, and eventually he'll maybe have the keys to the wide receiver room as well, as Brett, no pun intended, earlier.
Yep.
All right, good stuff. When we come back, we'll switch over to Deshaun Bishop, who was named a top 100 running back, or excuse me, top 100 player, I should say. He is a top 100 running back. He's a little bit towards the top of that list, but top 100 player in college football. And those at the Doak Walker Award watch list might need to take notes. We'll talk about that when we return right here on the Playbook.
It's time for the North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week. Brought to you by North Knox Siding and Windows. Call 865-689-0505 or visit them online at northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
This week's North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week is Alcoa senior quarterback Thomas Manu. Manu came off the bench following an injury to throw the game-winning two-point conversion pass as the Tornadoes stunned Maryville 43-42 in double overtime last Friday night in Blount County. Alcoa High School quarterback Thomas Manu, this week's North Knox Siding and Windows High School Football Player of the Week.
North Knox Siding and Windows, locally owned and operated, they can handle all your siding, window, gutter, and roofing needs. Call 865-689-0505 for a free estimate or go online to northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jacob Wilco. Here at Knoxville Smiles, every smile is unique and every smile has a story. We would love to get to know you and help you smile brighter with confidence. If you've been looking for a dental home that treats you like more than just a set of teeth, we would love to welcome you to the family. Please give us a call at 865-539-1776 or visit us at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Are you getting penalized because you can't make it to your bank on time? No need for unnecessary roughness. It's time for a new game plan. Easily manage your accounts with Citizens National Bank's mobile banking app. Check your balance, deposit a check, and pay a bill all from your phone with CNB's mobile banking.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC.
September 10th isn't just a sale, it's an experience. Join us as Liquor Vault celebrates its first anniversary with the biggest savings event of the year. Experience rare bourbon drops, surprising barrel releases, and complimentary tastings all day. For the wine enthusiasts, you can check out Jason Drotar's Wine Passport Experience. Cigars, they've got them too. Enjoy hourly giveaways, exclusive one-day only anniversary pricing, and surprises throughout the day. Find a Vault Golden Ticket and receive exclusive access to Liquor Vault's highly anticipated end-of-year rare bourbon allocation. People will be talking about this event for months. The only question is, will you be there? The Vault Experience, September 10th, only at Liquor Vault's anniversary party. Located at 2901 Tazewell Pike. Check out their specials and sign up to get discounts at liquorvault.com.
Is your crawl space damp, musty, or showing signs of mold? Call S&D Crawl Space and Insulation. From crawl space encapsulation and mold remediation to waterproofing, insulation, and dehumidifiers, S&D helps protect your home from moisture and poor air quality. Serving Knoxville and surrounding areas. Call 865-602-0590. That's 865-602-0590. S&D Crawl Space and Insulation, protecting your home from the ground up.
Tired of spending your weekends working in the yard? Let ECR Total Landscapes handle it for you. We'll take care of de-weeding your flower beds, leaf blowing, trimming, mulching, and more. Let us do the heavy lifting so your landscape looks great. Right now, get 10% off your first month of our monthly maintenance package when you mention promo code FANRUN. Reliable service, great results, and more free time for you. Call us today at 865-384-2012 or visit us online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Here on the Playbook, we appreciate you hanging out with us on this fine Thursday from K-Town. Good stuff right there, talking the EA Sports College Football 27 ratings. A guy that was snubbed maybe in the ratings, at least by the Doak Walker Award watch list, Deshaun Bishop. But he was properly given his flowers by ESPN yesterday as they released its annual preseason list of the 100 best players in college football, with just one Tennessee player making the list this season, and that is none other than running back Deshaun Bishop, ranking as the number 70 player entering the 2026 year. And this was the write-up from Mark Schalbach. I don't think I've seen his work before, but the quote was, "The Volunteers did not have to go far to find Bishop, who starred at Carnes High School in Knoxville. They gave him a chance to walk on, which was his only offer from an FBS team. That's not necessarily true. He did have offers to go to Appalachian State and Coastal Carolina and Liberty, but whatever. He's on scholarship now after he ran for 1,076 yards with 16 touchdowns in 2025. Over the past 2 seasons, 947 of Bishop's 1,531 rushing yards came after contact.
That's crazy.
And he forced 47 missed tackles. I'll give him credit. Those are some good numbers. He might have messed up the FBS, but those are some good numbers.
Makes it sound better, though.
Yes,
he
it
only
does.
had the one off.
Yes, it does. Quote, with a new quarterback starting under center, the Vols might ask even more from Bishop in 2026. Bishop was one of 39 running backs to total over 1,000 rushing yards last season and is one of just 21 that returned to college football for the new year. Despite this, the Doak Walker Award kept Bishop off its 60-player presentation in the preseason watch list earlier this month. So Deshaun Bishop is a guy that I am so excited to watch this season. I had the opportunity to talk with him back in early July, and this is an underdog and a player that is rooted in his faith and is an example for Tennessee football, an example for young fans, an example for everyone here locally or nationally. It's a guy that's fought every moment he has had to get to this point. And what I think so fascinating about his origins in his career in Knoxville is that he was a walk-on. And a lot of that was coming from the Jeremy Pruitt era and all the NCAA violations that occurred and the things that were placed on Tennessee during that time. But he didn't even realize he was a walk-on when he signed the dotted line on National Signing Day at Carnes High School. He thought he was on scholarship like normal. And he gets to campus, figures out, oh, I'm a walk-on. He had to fight his way. He almost got kicked off the team. He was running around with a bad crowd. And he had a realization of, I've got to get my stuff together. And, he has turned his life for the better, is very passionate about his faith and very passionate about the blessings that God has given him. And I think that's an incredible story from a guy that rushed for over 8,000 yards in high school, ranks second in the state for all-time rushing yards in a high school career, yet he was not given many opportunities in the high school recruiting ranks and has worked his way up and has now fought for his spot and is going to be RB1 for Tennessee in 2026. This is a guy that rushed for 1,076 yards. He's the first returning 1,000-yard rusher for Tennessee football since Jalen Hurd did so in 2016. It's a story everyone can get around. But outside of that, he's a very, very important player for Tennessee this season outside of all those accolades. Because you got a young quarterback in Faizon Brandon behind center. You got a veteran offensive line, 4 returning starters, David Sanders, Wendell Moy, Sam Pendleton, Jesse Perry, and you're going to figure out that 5th spot, but you got some good options there too. Whether it be a Donovan Haslam, a transfer from West Virginia, Sham Umarov, a guy we got to see a lot of last year, and then there's Ori Williams, the 6'8 transfer from LSU. They'll figure that out, and Coach Ellerby has got a good problem on his hands with about 8 or 9 guys that he could go to. I didn't even mention Nick Moore, who's been battling for that center spot. But regardless, it's a deep O-line. They're going to be just right. And that's very important for a young quarterback, but you've also got to have a running back that can pick up 5 yards and 6 yards consecutively and consistently. And that's what Deshaun Bishop did last year. He rushed for over 5 yards a carry. That's automatic in terms of a Josh Heupel offense that is trying to keep the pace going and is trying to keep the flow of the offense rolling on these drives. 1st and 10, pick up 5 yards. Now you got 2nd and manageable. You got 2 downs to get past, whatever the marker is. And that's 5 yards. It makes life easier. Even if you take a shot on 1st down, you can make up for it on 2nd down with a 5-6 yard carry from Bishop. So that's so important for a young guy because there are going to be some growing pains with Brandon. Just expected. It's part of it. He's a true freshman. There are going to be those moments where he makes an interception or turns the ball over with a fumble or maybe misses a guy coming across the field. There are going to be those miscues, and Vols fans need to be patient with that. He's a 5-star, and he's earned the job, but he's going to have his fair share of miscues, And that's why it's so important to have a guy like Deshaun Bishop in that backfield to lean on in those moments and lean on throughout the course of a game. And I think the best thing about Deshaun, too, is that he levels up his game in the big moments. Go back to last season. Overtime against Mississippi State, kind of back against the wall, a matchup in which you didn't know if you were going to come out with a win at points in that one. First play of overtime, Deshaun Bishop finds the end zone. That's a big-time playmaker. Against Alabama, one of the coolest stories he told me in that conversation we had was he was unable to walk after that Arkansas game, which he got nicked up and had an incredible performance in that one too. But he got nicked up, couldn't play, couldn't run and practice. And it was on Thursday. His aunt texted him a Bible verse, and he continued to repeat that in his head. And magically, on Saturday, he was able to go. And against Alabama, he had one of his best games of the season. A really cool story and almost a microcosm of his career. And that's a guy that in a game against Alabama and a game against Arkansas and a game against Mississippi State, he leveled up his game. So when you take on a Georgia Tech on the road, I expect a heavy dose of Deshaun Bishop. When you go up against a Texas defense that is loaded, top to bottom, Colin Simmons, Rasheem Biles, you name them. They got guys at all three levels. That's a guy you have to lean on. And over the course of the season, a lot of big-time matchups. Bama, A&M, LSU. You hope that Bishop is able to stay healthy throughout all of it, but that's a really important player to have. And I think his value is properly demonstrated in this list. You can maybe even have him a little bit higher. But ESPN, unlike the Doak Walker Award watch list, knows what they're doing. And I respect that. Brett, to you, Deshaun Bishop properly listed here in a top 100 players list by ESPN. Obviously, the Doak Walker Award did not do that. But what do you anticipate for Bishop and how this season may fare out for him?
I don't see many of those Liberty players on that list.
No, I didn't either.
Running backs. And,
either the three.
I don't think Justice Haynes is on here, He's ninth or so running back on here. You look at the names ahead of him, and it's not a running back.
It always happens.
It's weird. No, I think he's properly rated. He wasn't ranked last year, so he's coming into this year, and he's got higher expectations, not only as fans we do, but as a player as himself. And he's, he had 180 carries. You got to think with a young quarterback, he's probably going to see a few more than that. I think he could run for more yards than even he did last year, just with the simple fact that Faizon is going to be a threat in the backfield. So you mentioned this offensive line should be really good and things like that. But, he was always a good running back. He's always been doubted, like you said. And I think this 70th ranking, not being on the Doak Walker watch list and simple things like that are just going to motivate a guy like this. And, I think he's leading by example. I think he's probably a reason DGG is going to be up here next year, and why you trust these other guys that are even running behind him. Everybody's going to run hard and do their job and things like that. And he's just a team leader, and I'm glad he's in our backfield leading the way, and he's a local guy, which makes it even better as well. So Deshaun, I think the team's going to go as Deshaun goes, and, he's going to hopefully make life easier for, like you said, the young quarterback.
Camden, what do you make of Deshaun Bishop this upcoming season?
Yeah, like Brett said, he's a 9th-ranked running back on this list. I think he should be over Bo Jackson from Ohio State.
Sure.
But, yeah, I just love the physicality that it brings just to that backfield. Going back to our college football game segment, he is tied for the highest overall on the Vols roster, and just excited to come and watch him. Something I've always loved about him is that you mentioned it, very outspoken about his faith, especially on campus. There was an event last year that he led in the middle of fraternity row, where it was him and a couple other athletes that led a worship and shared their testimonies.
Nice.
And it was just an awesome thing to see, that somebody who will be looked at this year as such a leader is that on the field and off the field.
Yeah, most certainly. And he's also in a running back room that has a lot of new characters. Javen Gordon transfers over from Tulane, and Justin Baker, Dwayne Morris were both a part of the program last year, but they were true freshmen, and now they're entering in their second season. And some of the things we asked all those guys was, what kind of leadership does Deshaun Bishop have in this room? And from a newcomer that just transferred in to guys that are now entering year 2 with this program, all of them said, that's a guy we lean on. Just asking questions. And I think that's the biggest thing that I've learned when talking with a lot of these college athletes this summer, asking questions. Some of them are a little bit more established than others at this point in their career, but even if they are, I'll talk about the times when they were not. And I'll say, what did you learn during those moments? And almost every time it's ask questions, learn. And I think learning is something that a lot of people don't want to do these days. They don't want to learn. They just want to have results immediately. They want to go into a quarterback competition and be given the job because they're a 5-star quarterback. That wasn't Faizon Brandon. He learned. He stayed in the facility 6 to 7 days a week. Spring break, got it. Outside of that, I'm here. He got pretty familiar with, Dos Bros and all that. He didn't go anywhere, right? So I respect the learning aspect of it, and that's something that Deshaun Bishop has instilled in all these young guys. And while we talk about how deep the wide receiver room is and how deep the offensive line is, the running backs are a sneaky deep group as well. And I think each one of them brings something different to the table, where Bishop's more your bruiser, the rock that just kind of rolls right through anyone. Javen Gordon, a little bit craftier. You can use him out of the backfield. Justin Baker, a little bit more compact, but another guy that I think has, different options in terms of where he is rushing towards. Is he an outside the tackle guy? Is he an inside guy? I think you'd put him more outside, but with a Dwayne Morris, he's a utility knife. I almost look at him as a gadget player where you could put him in a number of different situations. He just rushed at 21.7 miles per hour in that first Neyland Stadium scrimmage a couple of weeks back. That's some speed. 99 yards straight to the house. Now, maybe there was a couple of touch tackles and they just let him go. Who knows? But that is some speed. And I think this is a really intriguing running back room. But a lot of this is because they've got a good leader and a guy that's grounded and knows his values at his core. And he's instilled that into the rest of them. And he's also a really good running back, too. That adds into it. All right, when we come back on the other side, we'll switch over to my best bets look ahead. Week 0, just a couple of hours away, maybe a little bit more than a couple of hours, but we're under 48 hours at least, folks. So that's enough for me. We'll talk about that on the other side. Stay right here. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
You're tuned in to the station that puts fans first, all day, every day. Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
What kind of day is it? It's a White Claw day. Grab a pack, grab your friends. Everything else in life can wait. Your friends shouldn't. Let's go. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
One homestand remaining to see your Knoxville Smokies in action. That's it. Next week, your Smokies are home against the Chattanooga Lookouts, and we're closing out the season with amazing promotions every night. Taco Tuesday and All-You-Can-Eat Wednesday, less than $20 for tons of food and game tickets. Nice. Our final Thirsty Thursday, final fireworks show, and we end the season with our fan appreciation game. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Knoxville Smokies.
Is your car ready for the road ahead? At Matlock Tire and Auto Service, they've got everything you need to keep you and your family safe on the road. Whether you need new tires, a quick oil change, or expert repairs, Matlock is your one-stop shop that keeps you moving safely. Matlock's certified technicians offer top-notch service for brakes, alignments, batteries, and more. Plus, they carry all the top tire brands, and they're the home of the world-famous Price Match Guarantee. Bring in any competitor's ad, and they'll match the exact same tire for the exact same price. That's how Matlock Tire goes the extra mile for you. Convenient, reliable, affordable. Matlock Tire and Auto Service. Visit any of their 5 area locations in East Tennessee, in Farragut, Lenoir City, Maryville, Athens, and Hardin Valley. Find the location nearest you and schedule your appointment online today at matlocktireservice.com.
Golf Envy Farragut is the premier indoor golf experience you've been looking for. And right now, they are offering a limited number of founding memberships. Golfers can reserve their spot for just $150 before their September grand opening. Founding members receive 90 days of unlimited guest passes, as well as an exclusive risk-free first month. That's right. Try out Golf Envy with no obligation. Give it 30 days, and if it's not the right fit for what you're looking for, your first month's dues will be refunded. Members will get access to their Golf Zone 2 Vision NX simulator technology, the most realistic simulator on the market, where they can play more than 300 courses and compete in leagues and tournaments with players all across the country. Golf, rain or shine, 24/7, 365. To learn more and become a founding member, visit their website at farragut.golfenvy.com/presale.
Fall fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
Is your crawl space damp, musty, or showing signs of mold? Call S&D Crawl Space and Insulation. From crawl space encapsulation and mold remediation to waterproofing, insulation, and dehumidifiers, S&D helps protect your home from moisture and poor air quality. Serving Knoxville and surrounding areas, call 865-602-0590. That's 865-602-0590. S&D Crawl Space and Insulation, protecting your home from the ground up.
All right, back here on the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us. Now time for my best bets. Look ahead for week 0. A reminder to check out the Cover Boys podcast. Haji out in the desert, the Sheik, I should say, out in the desert. And I just recorded last night, getting ready for week 0. That'll be out on our podcast networks here soon. And some good tips and tricks for this weekend. 2 games we have strong signals on: TCU and North Carolina, San Jose State and USC. I'll let you listen to those, to the podcast to get the intel on those. But some strong signals there. And outside of those 2 strong sides, I will touch on the other matchups. Memphis UNLV, there was a rumor last night that Marcus Stokes has taken the job.
Yeah, I saw that.
Memphis QB1, not officially been named yet.
Oh.
A little bit of a jump the gun there. Now, my assumption is that he will be the guy. I would have a 99% chance or 99% confidence on that. But Coach Huff does not want to show his hand early. And also, out of respect for both of those guys, I think they'll announce it on their own terms. No, I think the understanding has been Stokes will be the quarterback. A transfer from West Florida. Another guy I happened to talk to this offseason, a quarterback who's been through a lot. And talk about adversity. He's had a very unique path to get to where he is. But at West Florida last season, he was incredible. The Harlan Hill Trophy finalist, which is basically the D2 equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. And I like Memphis still right now. The bet splits are pretty even. They're a little bit slighted towards UNLV. But I think in week 0, week 1, week 2, you're still learning a lot about these clubs. UNLV is expected to trot out Jackson Arnold and Alex Orji. I'll pass. I watched a lot of Dan Mullen over my time. I've yet to see him roll a quarterback competition into the first game of the season. That gives me all the tell I need to know. Jackson Arnold has been sacked 67 times in 2 years. Yikes. Alex Orji, a little bit of a red zone gadget guy. And he has been better with his arm in camp, is the intel I've heard, but I'll pass on that.
Yeah.
I'll pass on that. So I like Memphis still, 4.5, 4. I think they went outright. We're a sprinkle on the money line, but two strong sides in North Carolina, TCU, and San Jose State, USC, just out of respect for not spoiling it. You can go check it out on the Fan Run Podcast Network, but it is out right now.
Didn't you spoke on NC State, Virginia yesterday, did you not?
I did. I still like NC State.
Okay.
It's a lean, not a strong play, but a lean. Virginia's got 16 guys out.
That was ridiculous. How did that happen?
Well, that is true, but only one guy is really considered a starter, so it's a lot of just depth pieces.
Oh, okay. I was like, wow, what are they doing?
It is still funny. It makes you ask what the hell have they been doing all offseason, you know? Real quick, Shane Short says, so I listened through the earlier release on Desert Dog Media SoundCloud. Are y'all not doing the right sides anymore? We are. Just a little bit of a change up. I like to solidify my slate on Saturdays. I don't like picking on a Thursday night or a Wednesday night because all these things can change. So there are still right sides, and the ones that we hit on at the end of the show, we kind of go through every game once again, tell us where the leans are, but the strong signals, I would say, are kind of the new verbiage for right sides. But again, I'll lock them in on a Saturday. But again, a couple of sides that we already kind of know, strong signals. But again, you got to see where that line moves. When we come back in hour 2, we'll talk about how the NFL is now banning college athletes that try to go back to college and then return to the NFL, what that looks like for LSU, and also Jalen Washington for Tennessee basketball. Will he be able to play this season? We'll talk about that. Stay right here. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
Every fan has an opinion, and at Fan Run Radio, yours actually matters. Call in, text us, or comment on our YouTube feed and be a part of the conversation every single day. Whether it's football, basketball, baseball, or recruiting season, we're talking all things Big Orange all year long. Your team, your town, your voice. Fan Run Radio, the flagship station for Tennessee fans.
Barley's has live music on weekends, general team trivia on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m., and now live sports trivia courtesy of the Knoxville Trivia Guys every Thursday night upstairs. The game starts at 7 p.m. and is free to play for everyone, so head on down to the Old City and show off your sports knowledge and win gift cards to Barley's. Use those gift cards to buy some delicious food and drinks, and you can take it all in with their wide selection of TVs and indoor projectors. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
Fall just feels different. Cool mornings, fires burning, football on Saturdays, a late afternoon round with the guys, and weekends spent with family. These are more than moments. They're the traditions we look forward to all year. Wherever fall takes you, Inward Half is made to go with you, combining comfort, performance, and timeless style for the moments that matter most. Inward Half. Performance you feel, tradition you carry.
Hey Vols fans, Cody Brown here. I grew up right here in Tennessee and know what it means when someone says, I've got your back. That's why you can trust Farm Bureau Insurance of Tennessee. Whether it's your home, your vehicle, your family's future, or the business you built from the ground up, we will show up for all of your insurance needs. We are Tennesseans who understand what matters, which is doing right by you. Insurance is not all about just paperwork and policies, but it's about the people we insure every day. So if you want insurance that hits home, give me a call at 865-992-3871. Go Vols.
Blackford Veterinary Surgery Referral specializes in surgeries not regularly performed by your pet's general veterinarian. They're currently accepting referrals from vets all across the country. With their newly renovated state-of-the-art surgery center and highly trained staff, clients can rely on professional and thorough care. If your vet says that your pet needs surgery or rehab, ask for a referral to Blackford Vet and let them get your best friend back on its feet. Located conveniently in West Knoxville. For more information, visit blackfordvetsurgery.com.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
Today, we raise a glass of Jameson Irish whiskey to the sport of football. Hear, hear!
To Gaelic football, born in Ireland in 1885 in its thrilling blend of soccer, rugby and basketball. On a massive field, 15 players kick or hand pass a round ball that scored points over a bar or into a net. No pads, no helmet, no sense.
Here, here!
To college football, which kicked off in 1869 when Rutgers beat Princeton 6-4 in the Battle of New Jersey. With 11 players in helmets and pads, teams battle on a 100-yard gridiron with explosive pass plays and hard-hitting tackles. Unless you're called for targeting.
Here, here! Since 1780, Jameson Irish whiskey has been enjoyed by sports fans all around the globe. Whether your football is Gaelic, American, or even soccer, we can all agree on super smooth Jameson Irish whiskey. Here, here!
Thursday, live from the White Claw Hard Seltzer Studios. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio. Brett Hullander and Camden Coltrane. Gosh, I'm so sorry. That's the second time I've done it this
All
week,
good,
Camden.
all good.
I guess we got to get Connor being here this summer is just messing me up still. All these C's. Kayla. I think it starts with Kayla starts with a K. You know, she's been with us Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Yeah.
Too many.
Caleb, Connor,
Yeah.
Camden.
But Camden's a good name. I do like that. Camden Coltrane. That's a unique last name too. I don't think I've ever met a Coltrane.
You have the great pleasure of bringing these people in, so it's kind of on you with all the names, isn't it?
It most certainly is. No, it most certainly is, Brett.
But you have your college football mind between knowing all the players and things like that.
You think I could get something as simple as knowing a name and get it right.
So the backup quarterback at some random school, but then of course you've almost have a longer relationship knowing these backups than you do Camden over here.
That is true. But it's my apology. I will not do it again.
Like you said, Coltrane's a unique last name, so I can let it slide. It doesn't bother me too much.
Do you have a nickname off of that? Like, do people call you like? I mean, Coltrane's very unique. I guess, do people call you Coltrane just like as your nickname kind of deal?
From time to time, yeah. In high school, a lot of my coaches called me Soul Train.
Soul Train? Okay, well, don't tell me that because I might call you Connor Soul Train moving forward. But that's good. I like that. Yeah. I mean, I've got, Patterson doesn't have a lot of people will call me Patterson. And I've been doing this almost 24 years. They can get my name right. But
it's true.
That's a common miscue where they'll be like, "What's up, Patterson?" And it's Patterson, no R. But so I understand. I'm sorry, Camden. I will not mess that up again. Camden Coltrane. But now, ever since he said Soul Train, I'm going to think about it. So that is a good nickname, though. I guess if I refer to you as that, then I'm just going by the lingo.
I got you.
But good stuff. Appreciate you hanging out with us. If you're on that YouTube live stream, make sure to like and subscribe so you never miss any Fan Run content. And as well as that YouTube chat, we like to see you active on there. A couple of good comments. Shane Short says, Roscoe P. Coltrane, ? Is that I don't know if I get that reference. I don't know. Shane Short, if you don't mind clarifying, I might just be showing my age there. But I do like Coltrane's a good last name.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Dukes of Hazzard. Got it. Yeah, that goes over my head. That goes over my backup quarterback vocabulary. But good comment nonetheless.
I know you're a big It guy, right?
Yes.
So the guy passed away that played the original Tim Curry?
Yes.
He played, have you seen the original?
I have.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was that guy. I should know it because, I'm older, but that was my first horror scary type movie that I ever saw with some of my buddies. And, I saw that on like Good Morning America or something this morning, and I was like, oh my gosh, who played the clown in the 1990 original? Because I remembered him from the Three Musketeers and obviously Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
And things like that. But I didn't know if I know you're big.
I'm a big
I know you're big scary.
Yeah.
I know because you always talked about the show that came out, the Derry.
Welcome to Derry.
Derry, yeah, which is it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it may not even go hand in hand, or
No,
whatever.
it does. I mean, I am a big It fan. I will say I've always had a philosophy on movies. I'm very, very picky on anything after or before 2000.
Okay.
I just feel like modern technology, modern cameras, CGI, all of that has just been so advanced that sometimes it's really hard to watch. Like any 1990, like Star Wars, I can still get around. But man, anything after like 1980 is a no-go for me. And I know that it wasn't necessarily that old, but
yeah, well, it was 1990 still. I didn't realize how old, 30, whatever it is, you know, it's that old, but I just had seen that and I knew you had always talked about that show. So I didn't know if you had actually ventured back and started from the beginning of that franchise, because there are multiple movies out for that.
Yes. I have seen the original It. I don't like it as much as the newer ones.
1990
yes,
as well,
Yes. Bill Skarsgård, though, who currently plays Pennywise, is simply incredible.
Yeah.
And I think that was my first R-rated movie in theaters.
Really?
I believe so, because I was in 7th grade. I think 7th grade, 8th, maybe going into 8th grade. And obviously to see an R-rated movie, you got to be over 18.
Right.
So I brought my mom with me, and my mom and I watched It, Chapter 1.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've been a big fan of it.
Yeah.
So I used to also decorate the house outside growing up, and during Halloween, I would always have a theme each year. So I did a Pennywise theme one year, and I literally got a maybe not a life-size skeleton,
yeah,
but it was probably about 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And I bought the Pennywise costume, dressed him up, and he just sat outside with a balloon, just standing right there on our.
I didn't know if you had a gutter.
No.
Stick him down.
No. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a big
Yeah.
Pennywise fan.
Okay. Well, yeah. Sorry, I meant to ask you that yesterday because I couldn't remember if it happened before while on our show or not. But that we had been spending so much time on Dolly, it kind of flew.
Yeah.
But he was big time actor. That I appreciate a lot of his movies.
For sure. Posting in the YouTube chat of the Skarsgård versions, the first one is by far the best. Yes, I would totally agree. The second one is solid, but I like Pennywise. I want more of him on screen, and you didn't get a ton of that in Chapter 2. But Welcome to Derry was awesome.
Chapter 1 was 2017.
Yes. So I was going in. I was going into 8th grade. Going into 8th grade. I think so. Yeah. But yeah, Welcome to Derry was great. Bill Skarsgård came back for that one, and I'm not a big show guy. Like I've got like a collection of like 4 shows I'll watch, and when they come out, even though with everything going on right now, I've not been able to watch Outer Banks, but that's one of my shows.
Yeah,
Outer Banks, Stranger Things, The Office,
all over the place.
Welcome to Derry, and then the first 2 seasons
like 4
of All
genres
American.
covered right there.
That is true. But a lot of it originated from COVID because we were all just sitting around doing nothing.
100%.
Stranger Things, I started watching through that. Outer Banks was big during COVID.
Yeah, it was.
Big during COVID. 13 Reasons Why, I watched that one too. Obviously, that one's a little dicey, but I apparently the Netflix has kind of taken Outer Banks out of control. But the original ones, I love some Sarah Cameron. Or what's her actual name? What's her
Madeline Klein.
Madeline Klein.
I don't know. We've gotten on a tangent. We've veered off.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry.
A little raunchy on a Thursday. Posty says, Welcome to Derry is very good, a lot heavier than the movies. Yes, most certainly. I agree. And season 2 got renewed. They're coming out with it in 2027.
Oh, nice.
So, and the way they're doing it too is they're telling it backwards. So he appears every 27 years. Mm-hmm. So the 2017 version that you were talking about was set in 1980, whatever.
Yeah.
And then the newer one that came out in movies was like present day. This past season of Welcome to Derry was 27 years before the Chapter 1 movie that came out in 2017.
Gotcha.
This one's going to be 30 or 27 years
after
or before this season, season 1. And they got 3 in total. So we're going to go all the way back down, but it's very cool stuff. I love it. So no Tiger King, says Hewitt Pruitt. No, I did not watch Tiger King.
I did watch Tiger
but
King.
He was big time during COVID as well. I never got around to
started
it.
getting arrested.
Yeah, he had I never really got into all the lore, but I just would see his face plastered everywhere, and usually wasn't good news.
That's a good one.
So, and even speaking of new looks or faces plastered all over, Tiger Woods apparently is looking.
Oh, I saw that because
Yeah.
he's talking about his guy Nota Begay getting that award. Yeah, and
He's got a goatee and
looking a little rough.
I hadn't slept in years.
Yeah.
God bless him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if he runs any trouble, he can call the president. We'll get back into it. Our first topic for hour 2. Banned from everywhere. NFL rookies who sign a pro contract are cut and later rejoin college football teams will not be eligible to return to the NFL this season.
That's
wow.
what you said.
Who would have thought of that?
This is your idea.
Exactly.
You said that.
Don't let them back. They shouldn't. Because it's silly. You're in the
Mr.
NFL
Chance.
for a reason.
Yeah.
You don't need to go back to college to firm up against a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old kids.
Yeah.
This is a quote from the memo. Quote, a player who signed an NFL contract that is subsequently terminated by the NFL club may return to college football subject to applicable NCAA eligibility rules via the legal counsel in a memo distributed to teams and obtained by The Athletic. Any player who returns to a college football team may not return to an NFL club for the remainder of that year. And players who return to college would not be re-entered into next year's draft pool. NFL Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent said Wednesday at a league meeting in Atlanta, those players would be considered free agents who had signed and then been cut. So we talked about this earlier in the week. Brett and I had a differing of opinion here, but I said that if you leave, you're done in the NFL. You're not coming back. This is not like a check in, check out. Let's see what I can do at the NFL and then see if I can throw a couple of touchdowns or catch a couple of touchdowns for LSU and then hop back. It's not how that works. We're not tunneling guys back and forth. And I think if anything, for some guys, I understand that they wanted to play an extra year of college football, but the timing didn't work out and they had to go to the NFL. But for some of these players that already played 4 years and, signed like a Jack Pyburn, like he had 2 sacks in the Tampa Bay Bucks preseason game. You don't need to go back to college, bud. I mean, you're clearly good enough to hang around and you'll probably make a roster. Why bother? Now, I know financially it makes sense, and I'm never going to comment on someone negatively for making a financial decision. At the end of the day, money's not everything, but if you can better your life moving forward because of it, I understand it. I understand that aspect of it, but from a competitive viewpoint, which is what the NFL is doing here, it's so silly. We're not playing back and forth between I want to go play college football and I'm going to come back and rejoin this NFL team after that. That's not how it works. You're in the NFL for a reason. You wear the shield. You've gone through training camp. You've gone through all the paid workouts. I'd love to see what kind of NCAA suspensions these kids would have gotten if Arian Carter with $427 was where we drew the line. I mean, what about a $1,015 or $115,000 contract? Where does that land? Is that a 6-game suspension or a 5-game just because it's LSU? We'll have to see. But
does it matter like the way you do it though? Like, I mean, are you saying because it's different the way that Daquan Wright I feel like's doing it, and the Harris guy and maybe Jack Pound, like they're leaving before cuts even happen.
That is true, but again, they've already been entrenched in this stuff. Thomas Castellanos is different. Thomas Castellanos, not in the NFL, not signed a contract, not good enough to play. He's trying to cash in on his college career.
Picked up as undrafted.
Exactly,
right?
because he's 5'7". He's not going to work out in the
yeah.
NFL. But Jack Pyburn's a player that can and should stay in the NFL, and I'm glad that he didn't continue to go down that path.
He didn't get drafted, honestly.
Yeah. Well, he got hurt last year, but he was a good player at Florida, was a highly regarded player in the transfer portal last offseason. But Xavier Harris, the same guy that was bad-mouthing Lane Kiffin back in January, leaving the New Orleans Saints and trying to go play for LSU, the college version of the Saints, silly. Daquan Wright, you're warming up in a preseason game and your name's in the portal for college football. Silly. You say some of these sentences out loud and they give you the answers on them. So this is most certainly the right move. And I think everyone, NFL, SEC, Big Ten, the college football playoff is going to meet the same way. Anyone that adds a former pro, And I think as many teams that have tried to bend the rules, they know it's in the wrong. They know they shouldn't be doing it. I mean, they can't really put up a fight here.
Now, are there any other players besides the two that are looking to go to LSU that are trying to do this? Because I'm not hearing any other names really. Like Jack Pyburn's being mentioned, but I don't think he's like trying. Like I think he's still
he's
busting his tail trying to make an NFL roster. I don't think he has any interest in necessarily coming back. But Daquan Wright and this other guy from here, and I think a lot of it has to do with Kiffin.
Mhm.
You know, hey, we need whether you need him or not. Like I think
Mhm.
he's pushed for them to clear waivers and join the LSU team.
Oh yeah, well they're not going to play. I mean,
No,
they're
no.
done now. But I think the ones that did not do anything or did not play at the next level, I understand their reasoning. Castellanos is a version of that. The Notre Dame interior defensive lineman slash edge, kind of a cat on the keyboard name, but he had a solid 2024 season, got banged up last year, was a little bit less productive. But I understand stuff like that. If you like literally don't have anything else going on and you got an extra fifth year, sure, do it, whatever. But the players trying to come back and forth. And this is honestly the NFL guys coming back from the preseason. That's not as extreme as RJ Lewis, who played a full season on a two-way contract for the Boston Celtics. Like,
Or the other guy's going A&M.
Which one?
What I forgot his name. Warren, I think is his last name. I'd have to look him up. I actually heard John and Sam and them talking about, and I know we're going to talk about. We don't have to get because we'll talk about Jalen Washington, but
Mhm.
you know that was going to ask you like, so you feel the same way about the NBA? Like, do you feel the same way that that's like NBA Summer League? Is that the same thing as an NFL training camp to you, or is that
Summer League in my eyes is more just
like pick up basketball?
I mean, all it is like going playing in the Drew League.
Because I know we talked about Jalen Washington yesterday. You know, did he or didn't he sign?
Yeah.
You know, the Summer League deal, does that count?
Mhm.
You know, that sort of thing.
Summer League to me is nothing more than the Drew League or some pickup competition. It's not. I mean, they're just out there trying to get tape and they're just trying to get reps and film.
I mean, there are top picks that are out there
No,
playing.
there
too,
are,
you
and
know?
there are, but like NBA preseason, there's still 22 person rosters or 20 person rosters. There are guys that are going to cut from that. So if we were in the NBA preseason doing this, I would understand. But Summer League, you got guys from 3 to 4 years removed from college just trying to get opportunities. But I understand that we also had a big gripe about Charles Bediako, and he was a G League player, and many of those Summer League guys are G League level players. So I get it. And then for Tennessee, as you kind of allude to, it does not seem like Jalen Washington will be able to suit up for Tennessee basketball this season. This was a ruling that was done in Ohio and Tennessee. He was a part of. And yesterday, the Tennessee Court of Appeals has issued an order staying the injunction granted to plaintiff athletes pending appeal. As with Ohio, those players are now ineligible unless and until the Court of Appeals rules in their favor. So that would be the long shot for Jalen Washington. You know, I did not want to misinform by any means yesterday when we were discussing it. But again, I think we are all learning cohesively what this looks like. There's not necessarily a playbook on who's coming back, who's eligible, who's not.
It just depends on what state you're in.
Right. So at this point in time, Jalen Washington does not seem eligible, and he's going to be ineligible for this upcoming season. And that's a big hit for Tennessee.
Huge hit.
Because with Washington, that's a Final Four team, and I feel pretty comfortable in that.
Or at least a very good opportunity.
Yes. I mean, he's very good defensively, was North Carolina's Defensive
Just more
Player of the
size
Year
that
in
you desperately
2024.
needed.
Size of anything.
Played at the SEC level. Yeah.
And that I believed he was going to start over Miles Rubin.
Yeah.
And Rubin's not necessarily a scrub, but I think it does matter when you have an SEC and Power 4 level player being in that
knows
starting
the
rotation.
physicality,
Right.
yes.
Right.
Yes.
And he had a number of big games against Tennessee, too.
He did.
I mean, one game where he had 6 blocks.
Yeah, he was dominant.
Felix Block-Para-esque, right? So it's going to be a big loss for sure. We'll, I guess, have to kind of wait it out on the judges and the courtrooms and the Court of Appeals. But I do want to kind of recap from yesterday. I misspoke, and he will not be eligible.
It just makes zero sense, right? Like, why some states are doing it, some states aren't. And I know we're one of the shows that really don't want to get into this because it's a new story every day, and it's just why some states allow it and some states don't. You know, I don't know. It's just frustrating that it's our state. You know, we were dealing with the Aaron Carter, we dealt with Joey Aguilar, you know, we dealt with Jalen Washington. Now it's just like something about our state and allowing guys to play. I don't know, which I can appreciate, but just Jalen Washington, he's played 4 years technically, so, he's exhausted his so-called eligibility, but I don't know. This is just a big loss for Tennessee though.
Most certainly. And again, that starting lineup with Terrence Hill, Juke Harris, Jalen Harrelson, Dwayne Brown, and Jalen Washington, that is really intimidating. Coming off the bench, Day-Day Ames, Tyler Lundblade, a little Troy Henderson action at guard. I like Manny Green and Ralph Scott too. Those are two prep players that have come in pretty filled out. So it's a tough break if Tennessee does not end up having Washington on the court. And right now, it seems it's trending in that direction. Camden, your thoughts on Jalen Washington not being able to play this season, being ruled ineligible? How big of an impact is that for Rick Barnes and company?
Yeah, it's a big blow for sure. I mean, just like y'all said, that inside defensive presence that we were so badly needing. When the news broke that he was coming back, I was like, yes, like that's gonna be great.
Yeah,
and he's gonna anchor that defense in the paint, and it's gonna be great. And now he's gone, and kind of just a big bummer to just hear that.
Major bummer. We were pushing so hard to tell LSU to cut all this crap out, and then we ended up getting caught up in the crossfire.
Well, and we were talking about Mitchell mainly. I think was the one we were hearing mixed reports on, but it sounds like he's going to be good to go, possibly. Because where he's filed or whatever. So that's huge for Kentucky. Things like that.
But that makes me think too. If Washington is ruled ineligible right now via this, what's stopping him in doing the same thing Mark Mitchell just did? Because if Mitchell did sign an E10,
which I don't think he did. From what I can tell from Googling it, I don't think he did. But
and you say that Washington did.
No, he did. I don't think he did either.
Washington,
I just think the state
did.
is not allowing him to play. It's because he was eligible.
Well, if you want to go fight it, let's do it. I mean, I think at least for Washington's case, he played 2 games for the Bulls Summer League team, and it wasn't like he played a ton of minutes.
Well, and I think it's affecting the baseball team, right? Like there's that Reese Chapman story. He was coming in from Colorado on Friday, and on his way here, he found out, you're actually not able to play. Now he's a student graduate assistant, basically, I guess, now, in the hopes maybe that something gets overturned. I don't know. But, it's just all our sports are being affected by something right now.
That's one way to keep him around, at least. I know the Reese Chapman wrinkle was something that a lot of people were talking about. Jackson Moy was most certainly an option. And, I mean, he's now out of it. So I guess I can be a little bit more clear on it. But there was legitimate smoke to that, by the way.
So the guy I was mentioning that's committed to A&M, he didn't play any college basketball. He played for Overtime Elite and was undrafted, but he's played 3 years in a row in the G League. He averaged 21 points a game last year in the G League.
Well, that guy's not playing.
He played 21 games, started 17 of them. He played 34 the year before that, and then 17 the year before that, the last 3 years.
I mean,
nothing's been updated on him in the last 24 hours, so I don't know. But he is currently trying to play basketball with A&M and committed there. So you got to think a guy that's played 3 years in the G League.
That's different. 3 years. I mean, that's Charles Badiako 2.0.
Oh, it's RJ Luis to another level. But I mean, the RJ Luis one is just crazy.
I mean, RJ Luis played an NBA game.
Oh, I know.
And I do like RJ Luis. I said Lewis earlier. My apologies. A bad gaffe. RJ Luis is a great player, Big East Player of the Year in 2024. I thought he chose wrong going to the draft, and it ended up being the case. Now, signing to two-way is still a good opportunity, but then when you go and do all of this.
Problem is he got drafted like the Celtics. It's playing his position with Tatum and Brown there. It's going to be tough.
Well, hell, now they got no one, so might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well stick around. I mean, but I thought it was funny. There's a picture of Will Wade and RJ Luis hugging about 36 hours ago when he got a court ruling in his favor, and now that is out the window. LSU's not going to have a basketball team. It's hilarious. And Will Wade is a good coach, and I understand that falling out was not necessarily pretty, but he had time to fill out a roster. And I think he chose to try and bend the rules. He goes, I'm going to look for European players. I'm going to look for these guys filing injunctions. You know, you hang out in the desert too long, you play with the cacti and all that, you might get pricked, and that's what happened to him. He thought he could kind of finagle the way into having a veteran roster, and he for a minute did, at least in a court of law. Donovan Dent, he was a really good player at New Mexico. RJ Louise, obviously a Big East Player of the Year. Sky Clark, be playing for his fourth team in 5 years, and he did so in high school too. Played 4 years, 4 different high schools.
Yep. Donovan Dent, did you say him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Donovan Dent.
Yeah. Mo Diabate, I remember his name.
They got 4 guys. I think Diabate is eligible.
Okay.
But he's one of 4. So right now, LSU is going to tip off the season. It's going to be a starting 5 with Diabate and the other 3, and then Will Wade's, I guess, going to have to put on a uniform. Maybe he'll have to file an injunction. I don't know how the hell they're going to play. If I'm at LSU and I played high school basketball, I'm licking my chops right now. I might be able to be the first freshman to walk out of the dorms and go play a game. But that's what happens. I mean, again, LSU thought they could finagle their way. I also think it's interesting. You mentioned at the end of the show yesterday, Brett, the SEC presidents approved stiff penalties to deter schools from signing players with pro experience, with one notable school, Shocker. LSU, sitting out. LSU abstained from Wednesday's vote on penalties. A source familiar with the vote confirmed to The Athletic. It was originally unanimous, but now it's 15-0. LSU didn't want a part in it. And the penalties, real quick, the coach suspended for half the season, a fine of 50% of that fiscal year's operating budget for that sport, the school's loss of voting privileges on conference business matters, and any additional penalties the commissioner and presidents deem appropriate. So basically, in the verbiage, they can do whatever the hell they want.
Yeah.
They could say, you're not allowed to use your stadium this season, or whatever. So clearly not violations that you want to kick off a campaign with, whether you're Lane Kiffin or Will Wade. But knowing LSU, they've got something up their sleeve. But I don't think they're going to be able to get.
Well, and the governor made some weird comment yesterday too, right? The Louisiana said, "Don't hate the player, hate the game," or something.
Well, they are the game right now.
I did think of one more player LSU could pick up. I know remember that boombox guy, Amir, the Aura guy,
Amir Cod. Is that his name?
He transferred back to LSU with Will Wade.
Good Lord,
maybe he can think he can ball.
What a publicity stunt he was. He went back to McNeese State this year.
He's followed Will Wade. He's back. He's at LSU now.
I know, but he was at NC State, and then someone had a falling out. I guess NIL contract wasn't great.
Yeah, because he's at LSU on Will Wade's staff again.
You know that Max is nice guy? You ever seen him on?
Oh, he does all the shooting stuff? Yeah, he's awesome.
It used to be awesome.
You don't like him?
Well, it's now
he's so good at what he does.
I know, but now it's been like 9 years,
yeah.
and he did one of Hansel, that Hansel player with one arm.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were like, "All right, man, year 8
canceled for it."
Yeah, it's like year 8, man. Let's pack it up. You know, if you're the Amir guy, it's year 3. It was funny the first season when you were at McNeese State. Last year, it was like, what the?
Well, who's he going to walk out into the tunnel with this year?
Yeah, yeah. So it's time to pack it up. Year 3, we're not doing this anymore.
He's going to be at the Rec Sports Center down there.
Maybe find something different. You know, even with the big gun guys. The Costco guys.
Oh, yeah.
Even the Costco guys had to pivot to something. You can't be a one-hit wonder the whole way.
Yeah.
So that Amir guy, he's got to switch something up. Maybe go away from the boombox and, I don't know, maybe have dancers come out with
eligibility. What year is he in school?
He might have to play. When we come back on the other side, college football playoff sleeper teams heading into the 2026 season. The Athletic listed a number of them in each conference. Is Tennessee on that list? We'll answer that when we return right here on the Playbook.
Follow us on Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram. We're everywhere. East Tennessee's digital sports leader. Fan Run Radio, Knoxville.
Hey, Vol Nation, football season is almost here, and we're looking for sponsors to join the Fan Run family this fall. If you or someone you know owns or operates a business, we'd love to talk to you about advertising on The Drive, Voluntary Reaction, The Basilio Show, Talk Sports, and other award-winning Fan Run programming. Just shoot me an email to russell@fanrunsportsgroup.com. That's RUSSELL @fanrunsportsgroup.com. CFB27.com.
Is your crawl space damp, musty, or showing signs of mold? Call S&D Crawl Space and Insulation. From crawl space encapsulation and mold remediation to waterproofing, insulation, and dehumidifiers, S&D helps protect your home from moisture and poor air quality. Serving Knoxville and surrounding areas, call 865-602-0590. That's 865-602-0590. S&D Crawl Space and Insulation, protecting your home from the ground up.
Citizens National Bank.
Kick off this football season with a CNB Plus Perks checking account. Move downfield with free online and mobile banking. And cross the goal line with extended evening hours and Saturday banking. Banking at CNB has its perks. Find out more at cnbtn.com.
Citizens National Bank. Banking never felt so good.
Member FDIC. North Knox Siding and Windows is East Tennessee's #1 choice for all your home exterior projects. If you've been putting off replacing old siding, windows, doors, anything on the outside of your house, then now is the perfect time to schedule a free estimate with North Knox Siding and Windows. Don't settle for less. Call the best. North Knox Siding and Windows, 865-689-0505. Visit their new location off I-275 at 916 Catherine Avenue, or just go online to northknoxsidingandwindows.com.
Is your yard starting to look more wild than welcoming? Yeah, don't let your landscape be that house on the block. At ECR Total Landscapes, we make sure your outdoor space is something you're proud of. From de-weeding flower beds to leaf blowing, trimming, mulching, and more, completely customizable to your property's specific needs. We'll handle it all. Why spend your weekends sweating it out in the yard when you can just sit back and enjoy it? That's the ECR difference. And right now, new customers can get 10% off your first month of our monthly maintenance package when you sign up for a full calendar year. That's right. Consistent, reliable service at a price that makes it easy to get started. No sweat, no hassle, just a better looking lawn week after week. Call ECR Total Landscapes today and mention promo code FANRUN to save 10% on your first month. Call 865-384-2012 or visit us online at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us on a fine Thursday from K-Town. Coming up in 27 minutes. 27 minutes. It's The Drive with Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith. They'll take you the rest of the way on this fine day. And then you got overtime from 6 to 8, and those guys are going to get you ready for the FCS and FBS action. College football quickly approaching. Before we get to these college football playoff sleeper teams, I do want to mention something personal, and I'll give more detail about it tomorrow. But I've been presented an opportunity, and I'm going to take that. And tomorrow will be my last show here on Fan Run Radio, unfortunately. And it's been an incredible 3 years, and I hope that you tune in tomorrow as well. It's going to be business as usual. We're still going to get into all the topics, but I will give my farewell and all of that. And again, I'll explain everything, where I'm going, what I'm doing, and all of that. Don't want to make it too big of a deal today, but did want to kind of preface it in case anyone out there wants to listen along or watch along tomorrow. It will be my last day here, so would love to see you there tomorrow. But we'll get back into it with our topic on the college football playoff sleeper teams, as The Athletic has listed out a group of teams that you kind of need to have your eye on. And I agree with a couple of them. As, you know, obviously I'm a little bit higher than some on like a California and an Oklahoma State. We did that top 25 preseason list a couple of weeks back. And while not all of them are not going to be on here, I can still give them a little bit of credit. So for the ACC, they mentioned Louisville and Virginia. We'll see the Cavaliers in action this weekend as they take on NC State. But for Louisville, I really like this one because I think the ACC is wide open. And Jeff Brom has been an incredible coach for many years. He did so at Purdue as well. But at Louisville, he's really given into the transfer portal action that we see across college athletics. He's had a transfer quarterback for now this season, a fourth straight year. It's going to be Lincoln Keenholz, a transfer from Ohio State. And he's won 10 games, 9 games, and 9 games in the 3 years prior. Jack Plummer and Miller Moss last year, even though he worked for the FBI, and Tyler Shuck as well. So 3 guys have all been transfers, 1-year wonders, and he's won 10 games, 9 games, 9 games respectively. I think he's got a talented group at Louisville once again this season. Isaac Brown returns at running back, and they've also had a couple of guys that were not in the NFL return via the grad transfer deal. Caleb Perry, one of them, a former Tennessee linebacker. So this is an experienced group that added a couple of guys on the defensive side via all the new injunctions and grad transfers, all that hoopla. But Isaac Brown is a big returnee as well. I look at Louisville as most certainly an intriguing team. And we'll look at the Big Ten real quick because we'll get to the SEC here in just a second. 2 teams that kind of stick out to me. Big Ten, they've got UCLA as a team. And now Bob Chesney comes over from James Madison, did an incredible job with the Dukes. But as we all know, we have a familiar name on that Bruins team. That's Nico Iamaleava, as he enters his 3rd season as a starting quarterback in college football. Obviously led Tennessee to the CFP in 2024.
And didn't they pick up another, like a former pro quarterback to
Derek Carr?
Derek Carr.
Well, he's not going to play. He's not.
Well,
in
yeah, but I'm
Junction.
saying
Yeah.
like he's not that's a Derek Carr's like a whole, just he's getting more help over there, I guess, than he had last year.
Yes, and Derek Carr's there now. I did think it was funny on the graphic.
Yeah,
they had Derek Carr and UCLA, and then someone in the comments was like, "Oh, I thought this guy was filing an injunction to come back and play." Right?
Yeah. Sorry, Nico.
But yeah, Nico, and then Wayne Knight at running back, who played for the Dukes last year in that college football playoff run. He's intriguing. I like Aiden Mizell, a transfer from Florida. He was highly recruited at a high school and has dealt with injuries, but there has been a lot of good buzz about him. I just look at UCLA and say, I don't love that schedule. I don't like them playing in the Big Ten, even though I do like Bob Chesney. I don't like UCLA's roster up against some of their opponents. And they also go up against my Cal Golden Bears to begin the season on September 5th. So it's going to be hopefully an 0-1 start to the year for them. But I do think UCLA is intriguing because of that. And Camden, you were nodding your head as I was talking about some of these guys. What do you think of the Bruins?
I mean, I can't say that I want to see success there.
Sure.
And much like you, I'm high on Cal. I like JKS. I like the dynamic. Yeah, that he brings to that offense. And UCLA just doesn't have the most favorable schedules for sure. I mean, at Oregon, at Michigan, Illinois, and USC, like those are all 4 games that you wish you could only play 2 of those in a season.
Sure.
So, especially with how large the Big Ten is now.
Yeah. And I think that's something the Big Ten's really worked on too. Like, now a lot of their top teams are having to play tougher opponents. Like Ohio State has a very difficult schedule this season, folks. At Texas, at USC, they host Oregon, but they go to Ann Arbor and play Michigan. They'll host Indiana. Those are 5 games right there that are going to be tough. And I think they lose that Texas matchup in Austin. That means they've got to go 3-1 in those 4 matchups in the Big Ten.
Got to go to Iowa, right? Did you say that?
I have to go to Iowa.
To Iowa.
Yeah,
that's always an interesting spot. You know, a couple of years ago, back when, Dwayne Haskins was playing, that was a very, famous matchup between those 2 teams. Iowa put it on them early. Now, I'm not saying that's what they're going to do this time around, but Big Ten's competitive, and Ohio State's a team that a lot of people like, preseason title favorite, all of that. That's a tough schedule. I don't know if I would be as
Senior
ambitious.
Day, week 1.
Yes. They'll be taking on Ball State.
Yeah,
the bowling ball.
Running out.
I saw a great comment about him yesterday, but I can't remember it.
For who?
The Ball State's quarterback.
Oh,
Keldrick Luster.
The 5'10", 250 guy?
5'10", 250. He's Ball State's bowling ball, but someone had another comment, and I think it was Mike Golick. Mike Golick had a good quote tweet on it. I can't remember it. But Ohio State most certainly has a tough schedule. But going back to UCLA, who the Athletic tabs as a CFP sleeper potentially, again, they've just got to go through a tough group of teams. Nico, I think, is still a good quarterback, But I want to see more of the Penn State version of him last year, not the UNLV version, not the, hell, he was bad in a couple of those early season matchups. Utah, they got belt whipped by them. Penn State was one of his best games he ever played in his career, but can he give you that consistently? I do like Bob Chesney. I think he's a great coach. Thought he did a great job with the Dukes, even in that college football playoff first round game against Oregon. But UCLA, it's maybe a little bit of a reach in year one with Chesney. But for the SEC, that's what we more so care about. Vanderbilt and Missouri, the two sleepers here. So the Commodores don't have Diego Pavia on the sideline. I think we're a little bit too late for an injunction to be filed. So it's going to be Blaise Berlowitz, who began his career at New Mexico State, was a zero-star recruit coming out of high school, spent 3 years as a backup to Pavia, both at New Mexico State, and then when he transferred to Vanderbilt. I think he's got a great understanding of Jerry Kill's offense, was also with Tim Beck at both locations as well. I assumed he was going to be the starter. He wins the job. Jared Curtis, 5-star, a lot of hype around him, sure. But sometimes waiting to have that guy play is a good idea, especially you got a veteran. So I think Berlowitz is fine. I don't think he's game-changing. I don't think Jared Curtis is going to be game-changing in year one either. And Vanderbilt is now going from the hunter to the hunted. And that's a role that they're not familiar with. Last year they were kind of the one that mucks everyone up and, makes things interesting. Everyone kind of disliked him, but now they respect him. They went 10-2 in the regular season. They've got the respect. How do you go from being the hunter to the hunted? And they lost a couple of key contributors outside of Pavia, Eli Stowers at tight end. But they do return players like Junior Sherrill and Alexander, a guy in the backfield. Talent is still there, but I don't know if I'd pump him up enough to be a college football playoff sleeper team.
He basically said Curtis would be the reason why they are the sleeper on this thing.
Yeah. He said didn't win the job, but he is slated to play in the opener. And consider the first two games are against Austin Peay and Delaware. There's a chance we see Curtis starting before too long. But a true freshman's not elevating anyone to the college football playoff unless they're Julian Saint as a redshirt freshman at Ohio State playing alongside the New England Patriots.
They're not going. It seems like you got to be at least close to 10-2.
Yeah.
They're not going 10-2.
Yeah. And then this other one is great. Missouri. Are they bringing back Drew Lock? Blaine Gabbert? Did I miss something? Austin Simmons isn't doing this. You kidding me? Austin? No. Just for Austin Simmons.
It does say they have a potentially explosive offense.
Well, with Ahmad Hardy and Jaden Roberts,
now there's concerns about Hardy, right?
Well, Hardy's he was always going to miss the beginning of the season because of what ensued this offseason, but quarterback play wins you games. Austin Simmons, the last time I saw him in a game of importance was throwing 2 picks to the same guy against Kentucky in week 2. I don't see it with Missouri. I think that's a major reach. If anything, if I really wanted to pick a sleeper team in the SEC, one in which that, I know Tennessee is ranked, but
is that what they're doing? Trying to think of
maybe, but Missouri was ranked.
Missouri's at the bottom 25. Of the poll.
They got their automatic preseason ranking
somehow every year, never fails.
If I were really trying to pick a sleeper, I think it'd be Tennessee, just with all the cast you have on the offensive side of the ball, and then defensively, the upside potential with Jim Knowles. If you really wanted a deep reach, though, where we're talking like lesser teams in the conference, it'd be Mississippi State.
Absolutely.
Mississippi State with Kamario Taylor, I think he's going to have a great year. Bulldogs better.
This is just to make the playoff, though, not to win it all, right?
Just to make the playoff, sure. And Mississippi State's got a tough schedule, but everyone in the SEC does. 9-game SEC, it's difficult for everyone. I'd rather bet on upside, and I don't think you're going to get that with Jared Curtis in year 1. Austin Simmons is what he is, and I don't think there's any upside left in that tank, even though you like what you have in the running back room. Mississippi State gives you both, though.
What about South Carolina? I like them more than Mississippi State as a sleeper.
South Carolina, though, man, they're too banged up right now.
Yeah, but if they can solve that offensive line, they're going to be a problem. Because I think they're going to be okay defensively. Lenore Sellers is a huge difference. We saw the difference between when he's really good and when he's got no time,
I understand, but here's the thing with Mississippi State, though. Mississippi State was in every game they played last year in the SEC. Took Tennessee to the wire, took Texas to the wire. Ole Miss made things interesting final week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
South Carolina got, disheveled and disposed of, I should say. And even when they had a 28-point lead, what was that score at halftime? Was it 38-3? 31-3?
30-3.
30-3. And they had a 27-point advantage in a half, and they couldn't get it done. I think Shane Beamer is not a serious individual. And that offensive line, Jacarius Peak's already hurt. That was their top guy in the portal. I don't have enough trust with South Carolina as opposed to the potential of what could be with Mississippi State. So that would be, if I had to give a deep reach sleeper, it'd be State. But obviously, I don't believe they're going to be a team that makes it. But I'm just going for the deep reach, Brett, as you scoff at me.
South Carolina, you're talking about firing a guy. I can't think of a deeper reach than that.
I'm talking about firing the guy at South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not talking.
I feel like I'm reaching deeper than what you're talking about.
I guess so. But he's being fired because he's not living up to the expectations on that team.
4-1. If they can get to 4-1, he's not getting fired. They have a brutally easy start to their season outside of going to Bama, I think.
I know, but if you're 4-1,
and then they get Florida and then us.
If he starts 4-1, he's not getting fired?
I don't think so.
The entirety of the season?
The entirety of the season?
No. Yeah, he's not going to get fired. Why is he going to get fired?
If
Beamer starts 4-1,
how
bad do you think it's going to be?
If you start 4-1, what are you ending?
Depends on what you think. Can they beat Florida? At Florida?
No.
Us at home?
No.
They can't beat us at home.
Well, they can't. Anything is possible. Anyone can do anything.
We lost a worse South Carolina team in 22 or 20.
Anyone can
22.
do anything.
Yeah.
On paper, maybe. Okay, fine. I'll give you that. You're 5-2. What's the rest?
Where did I? At Oklahoma.
No way.
Lost.
A&M at home.
5-4.
Arkansas on the road.
6-4.
Georgia at home.
6-5.
Clemson on the road.
6-6.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking about last year, South Carolina,
you start 4-1, finish 6-6. What matters?
Okay,
that guy's out of
you
town.
Asked me for a reach. I gave you a reach.
Okay, I know. I'm just saying. But you did say if they finish 4-1, he's not getting fired.
I'm just
That's
saying
what I was replying to.
They have the potential. Their ceiling and floor are about as high and low as any team in this almost conference.
I don't disagrey. I for my deep reach, I was just more so going a team that might not be mentioned at all. But I mean, South Carolina is still a good one in terms of a sleeper. I'm sleeping on them. I've got NyQuil and two blankets on.
I mean, I'm sleeping right with you with Mississippi State. Sleeping real good.
Camden, any sleepers for you in the SEC?
I would have said Mississippi State. But I mean, that 4-game stretch of Bama, LSU, Oklahoma, Texas in the middle of the season is brutal. But I mean, I like Kamario Taylor. I like Kelly Jones.
Kelly Jones
is one of the best cornerbacks in the nation.
Ball knower,
and he's legit.
Kelly Jones.
Was he one of the ones getting ran by all season last year?
What? No,
they couldn't stop anybody.
Well, the line of scrimmage is what they need to fix. The line of scrimmage needs to be improved. But it doesn't help that one of their North Carolina transfers, I can't remember what's his last, Miles something. He just got caught going 101 and a 65 last week.
Fine at Georgia.
I know. He's playing for the wrong Bulldogs. he better slow his roll before he loses his roll.
Yeah.
But that offensive line got to be better. Yeah. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll wrap things up. Stay right here. It's the Playbook on Fan Run Radio.
Check out exclusive Fan Run video content on YouTube. Just search Fan Run Sports and be sure to like and subscribe.
One homestand remaining to see your Knoxville Smokies in action. That's it. Next week, your Smokies are home against the Chattanooga Lookouts, and we're closing out the season with amazing promotions every night. Taco Tuesday and All You Can Eat Wednesday, less than $20 for tons of food and game tickets. Nice. Our final Thirsty Thursday, final fireworks show, and we end the season with our fan appreciation game. Get your tickets now at SmokiesBaseball.com.
Knoxville Smokies.
White Claw is taking hard seltzer to new heights with White Claw Surge. At 8% alcohol, White Claw Surge is a stronger wave of refreshment that doesn't compromise on taste. Available in 4 bold waves of flavor like ripe blackberry, citrusy blood orange, zesty natural lime, and tart cranberry. Check out your favorite retailer in-store and online for the White Claw Surge Variety 12-pack and 16-ounce single-serve cans. White Claw Surge. Please drink responsibly.
Running a business, coaching a team, planning your next big event, you need more than just gear. You need SM Athletics and Logo Solutions. Custom uniforms, branded apparel, promotional products, done right, done fast, and built to show off your brand with pride. From local businesses to high schools to major universities, SM Athletics is trusted by winners. Get real service, get real quality, get noticed. SM Athletics and Logo Solutions, where your brand comes to life.
Visit smathletics.com and let's build something great together.
Matlock Tire, East Tennessee's #1 tire service and auto repair shop since 1953. Matlock means auto service you can trust. At Matlock, they don't just do tires, they also do oil changes, brake repair, wheel alignments, and more. Visit one of their 5 locations in Farragut, Maryville, Lenore City, Athens, and Hardin Valley. You can schedule your service online today at MatlockTireService.com. Modern convenience, hometown service, Matlock Tire Service and Auto Repair.
Ball fans, reimagine your home at Broadway Carpets and Flooring for any remodeling or building needs. With a variety of carpets, rugs, hardwood, vinyl, and stone, Broadway has all the flooring and installation options you're looking for, including pet-resistant products like Pet Perfect Carpet from Shaw Floors. Visit their showroom in downtown Knoxville or the location in West Knoxville located on Kingston Pike near Pellissippi Parkway today.
Is your crawl space damp, musty, or showing signs of mold? Call S&D Crawl Space and Insulation. From crawl space encapsulation and mold remediation to waterproofing, insulation, and dehumidifiers, S&D helps protect your home from moisture and poor air quality. Serving Knoxville and surrounding areas, call 865-602-0590. That's 865-602-0590. S&D Crawl Space and Insulation, protecting your home from the ground up.
September 10th isn't just a sale, it's an experience. Join us as Liquor Vault celebrates its first anniversary with the biggest savings event of the year. Experience rare bourbon drops, surprising barrel releases, and complimentary tastings all day. For the wine enthusiasts, you can check out Jason Drotar's Wine Passport Experience. Cigars, they've got them too. Enjoy hourly giveaways, exclusive one-day only anniversary pricing, and surprises throughout the day. Find a Vault Golden Ticket and receive exclusive access to Liquor Vault's highly anticipated end-of-year rare bourbon allocation. People will be talking about this event for months. The only question is, will you be there? The Vault Experience, September 10th, only at Liquor Vault's anniversary party. Located at 2901 Tazewell Pike. Check out their specials and sign up to get discounts at liquorvault.com.
All right, back here on the Playbook. We appreciate you hanging out with us on this fine Thursday. Coming up here in just a moment, it's The Drive with Russell Smith, Bob Baskerville, the Bear, and Walker Smith. They'll take you the rest of the way, followed up by Overtime from 6 to 8. And it's now time for our final thoughts. A very quick final thoughts today. I do apologize. I think I went a little bit long on that last segment, but a lot to cover. Once again, hope you and hope you guys join tomorrow. I'll get to kind of explain everything in detail where I'm headed. But again, tomorrow will be my last show here at Fan Run after 3 incredible years. And almost to the day when I first joined, it was around August 15th, 17th. You know, I was a junior in college, but now opportunities presented itself, and I can't turn it down. So I hope you have enjoyed the show and also join tomorrow as well. So final thoughts today. I really don't have much else. I've been kind of running at 100 miles an hour over the last 48 hours, to be honest. So
I saw your did you see that thing about Chili's in the golf?
What about it?
Chili's is opening its first ever location on a golf course.
Oh,
I know I don't think you're a big golfer, are you?
Not a big golf guy.
So
I can drive
Chili's
the cart though.
Taking over DeBell Golf Club in Burbank and creating a clubhouse with Chili's menu items and limited edition Roback merch.
Roback?
Yeah,
like Faizon Roback.
Faizon. Yeah. So
Sure.
I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. So Chili's branching out
Look
to the
at
golf
Chili's
world.
branching out.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That actually is a cool concept. Like if it's like a clubhouse environment, I'm cool with it. I mean,
it has that kind of a little bit of feel. It's got that type of food.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
everyone's welcome. I know graduation parties.
Because you think of golf course, it's neighborhood.
Weddings.
Isn't it? Isn't
Yeah.
Chili's like neighborhood grill?
Yeah. Well, I think that's
Or is
Applebee's.
that
That's
okay.
Applebee's.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I like Applebee's too.
I've never been to Applebee's.
Really?
I know they love to serve liquor there, though. They've always got a new liquor deal. Talking about like half price, shots or something like that.
Did you do the Chili's on campus much on the strip? Wasn't there a Chili's down there? Or is it gone?
No, there's not.
There used to be one when I was younger.
Yeah.
I went down through there.
There's no longer.
Okay.
It's a damn
Probably
shame.
a housing.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right, that's going to wrap it up for a Thursday edition of the show. Hope to see you once again tomorrow. For Brett Highlander, Camden Coltrane, I'm William Pattison. See you next time.
Fan Run Radio, Big Orange Country's